an amount to levy against the contingent risk or future risk. And so, those employers that have had a lot of unemployment insurance claims activities against their SUTA accounts will have an experience rate that will be higher than, say, those that didn't have very many claims filed against them whatsoever. So basically the purpose of that is just to find out through an experience rating from the state agencies to find out, is this employer an asset to the UI trust fund, or are they a liability to it? Part of the, explaining, it's really complicated to explain how experience rates are calculated. The only thing that I could add to that understanding of that is that also the actual the level of money in the UI trust fund at the end of the fiscal year also is a contributing factor to the rating of the experience rate for that employer. So that's something to be remembered. So also it circumvents making future expenditures such as voluntary tax payments and anything like that. So that's why you really need to protest claims strongly. As far as types of separations, technically there's really only 5 ways. You see 4 that are listed, but types of separations that a UI deputy considers: you either quit, you get discharged, you get laid off, you retire, or you die. That's it. There's no we mutually agreed to separate, none of that. That's it. And the only oddball in there that I didn't mention, of course, is a strike. That's usually very, very rare, and oftentimes the deputies don't make those decisions. It usually comes from higher up in the bureaucratic decision making as to whether anybody on a strike would get the benefits or not. But quits is the most common type of separation. Hey, I've quit jobs. I think we've all had, quit a job or two. The burden of proof is always on the claimant, though. And again, in many cases, the claimant really isn't even trying to claim against that employer. It just happens to be in the base period. Discharges, well, that's definitely the most common type of separation that is challenging for employers. It does require a tremendous amount of participation by the employer. And of course, layoffs is, interestingly enough, the purpose of the program altogether. I mean, that was the reason why it was made, designed and brought to bear. But anybody can file an unemployment insurance claim. Even folks that have retired, they could. A decision sometimes have to be made to determine whether they were forced to retire or not. As far as what claims should an employer protest, well, any separation in which the conduct, behavior, and the actions of the employee was the catalyst behind the employment separation. Voluntary quits without good cause, the claimant would really have to